It seems as though things are finally getting back to normal for Tony Hutchinson on Hollyoaks next week. The dog in the pond is officially reopening for business, plus he is edging closer towards a long-awaited reunion with his ex-wife Diane. But Tony has recently been having a sordid affair with Mercedes McQueen, in an unexpected twist that no one saw coming. 30 years of Hollyoaks also means 30 years of actor Nick Pickard playing the show's most iconic role. As anticipation grows for the big anniversary, we were lucky enough to catch up with Nick to chat all things Tony. I think Diane is the love of Tony's life and he knows that. They've just had a rough patch recently. They split up during the missing year because of Diane's drinking, but Tony's always had her back, and he always will. I'm sure there's a few more ups and downs to come. Would you like to see them back together? I'd like to see it, and I think that's what the audience wants as well. I've known Al Fletcher, who plays Diane, since she was in Brookside. We were in the same building and I played football with her husband. We're so used to working together and we've got chemistry, so it's always nice. That came totally out of the blue. But it was a point where Mercedes was needing someone, and Tony was a bit lonely. He tells her straight away that this is just fun and it's Diane who he wants, and he wants to make sure Diane never finds out. It starts off with good intentions, but I'm sure there's trouble written all over that one. How does he feel about Mercedes trying to protect her son Bobby? Tony doesn't know the full extent, and Mercedes assures him that he's going to do the right thing. I think he feels sorry for her, but they're never going to see eye to eye on Bobby. He killed Tony's sister, after all. It's a hard situation, and it's going to get even harder. Turbulent journey, affairs, redemption, and a 30-year legacy on Hollyoaks. Life in Hollyoaks is rarely smooth sailing, and next week, longtime fan favorite Tony Hutchinson appears to be at the center of yet another emotional storm. As the dog in the pond reopens its doors after a period of uncertainty, it seems Tony's professional life is finally settling down. But behind the bar, his personal life is teetering on the edge of implosion. In a classic Hollyoaks twist, Tony is currently juggling an illicit affair with Mercedes McQueen while simultaneously inching closer to a heartfelt reunion with his ex-wife Diane. With emotions running high and secrets threatening to unravel, the stage is set for explosive drama in the lead-up to the soap's landmark 30th anniversary. And at the heart of it all stands Nick Pickard, the man who has portrayed Tony since the very first episode of Hollyoaks in 1995. As the only remaining original cast member, Pickard has witnessed the show's evolution firsthand, and he's about to lead fans into yet another unforgettable chapter. The calm before the emotional storm. After a year filled with chaos, heartbreak, and scandal, Tony is finally reclaiming a sense of normalcy. The reopening of the dog in the pond marks more than just a business revival. It symbolizes Tony's effort to regain control over his life. With the pub once again the beating heart of the community, Tony is returning to what he does best, being at the center of village life, offering warmth and familiarity in a town that never stops shifting. But even as he pulls pints and hosts regulars, Tony is facing a personal dilemma that threatens to undo his hard-earned progress. His renewed connection with Diane Hutchinson, the woman he still considers the love of his life, is complicated by a deeply buried secret. He's been having a fling with none other than Mercedes McQueen. Tony and Diane. A love story still unfinished. There are soap couples who come and go, and then there are Tony and Diane. Their relationship has endured cheating, addiction, trauma, and tragedy, yet through it all, a deep emotional bond remains. Although they split during Hollyoaks' missing year, the time jump that followed the village's darkest moments, their connection never fully disappeared. According to Nick Pickard, this love story isn't over just yet. I think Diane is the love of Tony's life and he knows that, Pickard revealed. They've just had a rough patch recently. They split up during the missing year because of Diane's drinking, but Tony's always had her back, and he always will. I'm sure there's a few more ups and downs to come. That glimmer of hope is something fans have clung to, especially as recent scenes show Tony and Diane reconnecting emotionally. The question now is whether they can rebuild their trust, and if Diane can forgive the secret that's still lurking in the shadows. A fling with fire. Mercedes and Tony's surprising affair. Just when things seemed to be turning a corner, Hollyoaks pulled the rug from under viewers. In a twist no one saw coming, Tony and Mercedes found comfort in one another during a vulnerable moment, and the fallout has only just begun. For fans familiar with Mercedes' chaotic love life and Tony's typically level-headed persona, this pairing felt out of character. But according to Pickard, that was precisely the point. That came totally out of the blue, he admitted. But it was a point where Mercedes was needing someone, and Tony was a bit lonely. And while the affair may have begun as a moment of shared vulnerability, it quickly spiraled into dangerous territory. Tony made it clear from the start that his heart belonged to Diane, but secrets have a way of surfacing, especially in Hollyoaks. He tells her straight away that this is just fun and it's Diane who he wants, and he wants to make sure Diane never finds out. It starts off with good intentions, but I'm sure there's trouble written all over that one. With Mercedes not exactly known for keeping secrets quiet, fans are bracing for the day the truth finally comes out, and the emotional damage it could cause and the ghost of Tony's past. Complicating matters further is the emotional landmine that is Mercedes' son, Bobby Costello. The boy, who has been through more than most his age, remains a source of immense tension between Mercedes and Tony, and for good reason. Bobby was responsible for the death of Tony's sister, Verity. That tragic history is something Tony cannot ignore, no matter how much he sympathizes with Mercedes' attempts to protect her child. Tony doesn't know the full extent, and Mercedes assures him that he's going to do the right thing, Pickard explained. I think he feels sorry for her, but they're never going to see eye to eye on Bobby. He killed Tony's sister, after all. As Mercedes continues to defend Bobby and keep her own secrets, the divide between her and Tony deepens. What started as a moment of comfort may soon become a battleground of grief, guilt, and blame. Nick Pickard on 30 Years of Tony. While Tony navigates a minefield of emotional complexity on screen, off-screen, Nick Pickard is reflecting on an extraordinary milestone. 30 years playing the same character on the same soap. In the ever-evolving world of television, such loyalty and longevity is virtually unheard of. Pickard made his Hollyoaks debut in October 1995 as the fresh-faced son of a restaurateur, and over 3 decades, viewers have watched Tony grow from an awkward teen into one of the most beloved, nuanced, and tragic figures in the show's history. It's mad to think it's been 30 years, he admitted. Tony's been through it all, marriages, affairs, deaths, kidnappings, even a serial killer or two. But I still love playing him. Every time I think he's done it all, the writers find something new. Indeed, Tony's journey has included some of Hollyoaks' most unforgettable plots, including his long struggle with infertility, his fraught marriages, his complicated friendship with Darren Osborne, and his devastating grief over the loss of his sister Verity. Why Tony Hutchinson endures. So why has Tony remained such a central figure for so long, when so many others have come and gone? Part of it is down to Pickard's portrayal, one that combines vulnerability, humor, and emotional authenticity. But it's also about what Tony represents. A man trying to do the right thing in a world full of chaos. He's flawed, frequently overwhelmed, and occasionally selfish, but always real. Tony's not a superhero. He's not always the smartest or the strongest. But he's got a big heart. He makes mistakes, but he always tries to fix them, Pickard said. That relatability has kept viewers invested, even during Tony's lowest moments. Whether he's confessing his love for Diane, trying to keep the dog afloat, or breaking down in the aftermath of Verity's murder, Tony's emotional truth always shines through. What comes next for Tony? With the 30th anniversary fast approaching, fans are expecting big things, and they may not be disappointed. Rumors are swirling about a major storyline that could either reunite Tony and Diane for good or tear them apart once more. And with the affair with Mercedes still under wraps, there's plenty of potential for heartbreak, betrayal, and redemption. Will Tony come clean before Diane finds out on her own? Can their love survive yet another test? And what role will Mercedes play in the coming storm? All signs point to a dramatic showdown as the anniversary episodes draw closer. Looking ahead, a legacy still unfolding. As Hollyoaks gears up to celebrate 30 years on air, Nick Pickard remains its emotional backbone. His performance as Tony Hutchinson has not only withstood the test of time but has evolved in ways few soap characters ever do. From comedy to tragedy, from family drama to high-stakes crime, Tony has done it all, and Pickard has embraced every challenge. There's still more to come for Tony, I think. He's not done yet, Pickard said with a smile. The writers always surprise me. For fans, that's reason enough to keep watching. Because whether Tony finds happiness with Diane, faces the wrath of Mercedes, or takes another detour into disaster, one thing remains certain. Hollyoaks wouldn't be Hollyoaks without Tony Hutchinson.